Hi, my name is Will, and if you take one thing and one thing away from this video alone, I want you to understand that success isn't fated, it's forged. You've just got to have the right qualities to make success a reality. And by using data from more than 10,000 participants who've taken part in our SalesCode assessment, this video is going to cover the 15 traits of particularly high performance. And best of all, you can cultivate and develop each one of these traits yourself. So we first created the SalesCode assessment as a learning tool for future-minded sales reps. We wanted them to understand what their strengths were, what they could do to, improve on things, and what they needed to focus on to take their sales skills to the next level. And since its launch, more than 10,000 sales professionals have completed the assessment. And whilst it's definitely served its purpose, this is an enormous chunk of data has also opened up the door to something a little bit unexpected. With it, we could actually filter and identify the key traits that high performers had in common. Now, there were a few outliers, of course, but in general, the best of the best outperformed the average rabble on each of these 15 traits of success. And these weren't necessarily people who were born with these traits or without these traits. We're not talking about the playing in the NBA here, where if you are over 6'7", you're way more likely to get in a team versus if you were born 6'11". All these things that we're going to talk about in this video are skills, mindsets, and processes that anyone, absolutely anyone, can cultivate. From the awkward first year salesperson or the intern to the seasoned professional looking to climb the corporate ladder, start a business or start a side hustle, whatever you want to do, these traits of success matter in sales, but also in business in general. So today I thought I'd share these 15 traits that we discovered after analyzing our SalesCode assessment data, and hopefully doing so is going to give you a cleaner roadmap to the skills that you can cultivate to boost your own success. And make sure you stay till the end of the video where I'm going to show you how you can take this assessment for free as well. Does that sound cool? Okay, let's jump right into it. So I've organized the 15 qualities into 3 distinct trait types. We've got beliefs, actions, and sales skills as well. And the first trait type that we're going to talk about is beliefs. Now, these are ideas and qualities that underpin everything else that individuals do. These are like your underlying operating system that everything else stacks on top of. Your beliefs form how you look at yourself and how other people around the world then, therefore, look at you. And trait number 1 in this belief category is being comfortable talking about money. Successful people are happy and comfortable and excited to talk about cash. Businesses run on money, and high performers recognize that conversations about money are a given in sales and other business roles. So rather than climbing up, beating around the bush, or getting defensive, individuals who have success approach money conversations just like any other step in the sales process. Next up, we've got being an extrovert. Extroverts are energized by conversations and they're curious about other people. And whilst this one can be a hard thing to learn on your own, there are plenty of strategies that introverts can take to increase their level of extroversion too. The point is, individuals who are people-focused tended to fare better in sales than those who would rather sit in their bedroom and hide behind cold email. And regular listeners to this channel and the podcast will know that I kind of flip back and forth being an introvert and extrovert. I was definitely not massively introverted, but pretty introverted as a kid. That first sales job knocked it out of me because I was on the phone all day, every day. The second and third sales jobs that I had working in medical device sales knocked it out of me as well. So if you are watching this video and you feel like you are a little bit introverted, it doesn't have to hold you back. Which brings us on to the next trait, which is having an optimistic outlook on life. Now, with that said, high performers aren't necessarily blinded by their optimism. They do, however, tend to see the silver linings and they hope for the best. Optimism in sales is crucial because it keeps you energized to go out there over and over again, no matter the rejection, no matter what gets thrown at you, to do the hard work of prospecting and to stick to your cadences. It also has the benefit of building rapport and enthusiasm in buyers too. Nobody wants to speak to someone who's all the time who's just a pessimist, who's just boring, miserable, and just down on life. We want to hang out with optimists. Next up, we have self-esteem. And look, it takes a lot of confidence to approach a cold prospects. And it takes a healthy level of self-esteem to withstand these hang-ups and the no's of people who aren't interested as well. And the best performing sales reps tended to have a solid self-worth to be able to excel in our industry and in business in general. And self-esteem ties closely with the next variable, and that is personal accountability. Successful people hold themselves accountable. High performers know that they make their own success. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. Who doesn't? But they take ownership of those mistakes. And they know that doing that is the only way to learn and get better at what they do. So that's all of the belief systems that make up a successful salesperson, entrepreneur, business person. Let's take a look at what actions that these individuals take as well. How do they spend their time? How do they handle interacting with others? What are successful people doing that unsuccessful people aren't? First up, and this one's a bit counterintuitive, successful people are not people pleasers. Now, there may be some industries where it pays to be a suck up, but sales is not one of them. High performers know how to get on a buyer's good side, but they also know when to push and be assertive and say no as well. When it comes to sales, our experience is that nice guys tend to finish last. Next up, high performers have high levels of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is pretty simple. It's just your ability to control your own emotions and then respond effectively to the emotions of other people as well. High emotional intelligence makes it easier to manage buyers, connect with prospects, and to build rapport with them as well. And no surprise, high performers have a more developed emotional intelligence skill set as well. Then we have, and this is a huge one for young salespeople. Young salespeople tend to fail at this looking at the assessment data, right? You have to be assertive. So knowing what needs to be done and then executing on that knowledge is one of, if not the most important way to close deals and avoid future hassles as well. In the world of sales, being assertive means being able to bring up issues before they turn into serious problems, turning down buyers that aren't a good fit. And of course, as crazy as this sounds, asking for the sale. It's no wonder that this is one of the most common qualities among high performers. And then we have goal setting. Sales is a numbers game. I'll debate people on this, but when it comes down to it, your job is to hit a number. So all we're going to do is reverse engineer that process, right? And the better you are at setting, tracking, and achieving your goals on time, the more chance you have of becoming a high performer. Finally, high performers are productive, exceptionally productive. Success in sales probably isn't for lazy people. You need to be self-disciplined enough to hit the numbers and keep going day after day to keep that grind going for years, decades, if you want to earn multiple six figures to, low seven figures in your sales role. High performers are always highly productive. They use strategies like creating task lists for the following day, having dedicated focus periods, putting things in their diary and being assertive enough not to let other people distract them from it, and a whole other series of productive traits as well. We've got a video coming up in the next few days about sales productivity, and so make sure you've clicked subscribed if you want to check that video out. So that's your beliefs and your actions. Next up, we've got sales skills. Because believe it or not, you've got to have a few specific sales skills if you're going to win deals. Not rocket science, is it? And that means being good at handling objections, because buyers are going to have objections to purchasing your product. Even if you've got a great product for a great prospect, it's a great fit and great timing, there's always going to be at least a couple of objections that need to be dealt with. They're not the problem. The problem is how you handle those objections. High performers come to pitches, come to diagnosis calls, come to discovery and qualification with answers already to your prospect's major concerns. You want to be able to turn these objections into opportunity for building emotion and enthusiasm into the sale. High performers are also especially good at influencing others. Because sales isn't just about the product that you're selling. It's also about the subtle things you can do to demonstrate your expertise and to influence the prospect's buying decision, to both nudge them, keep them on track with the buying process, but also, importantly, high performers are capable of nudging the prospect forward and accelerating the time from initial outreach to deal getting done as well. High performers do exceptionally well at showing their authority, and as a result, well, they can sway their success rates in their favor. Linked very closely to your level of influence is the skill of being an industry expert. And this is similar to the previous point. High performers both appear knowledgeable, confident, and with that, they share a level of influence. This is more than just talking the talk during a pitch. I could teach anybody to throw out a few words and certain phrases and use certain hand movements, whatever it is, certain pitches of their voice. You've got to be known in your industry if you're going to crush it in modern B2B sales. You've got to bring potential buyers to your door. your LinkedIn page, your website, whatever it is. And one of the best ways to do that is to leverage what high performers are always good at, storytelling. Storytelling is an essential component for tapping into the emotions of the buyer. And when it's incorporated into a pitch, it drives success rates massively through the roof. High performers are always exceptional storytellers. They know when and where to use this skill to its fullest. And finally, this might not come as much of a surprise, but high performers know how to handle negotiations. Negotiations can be tense. Heck, anything money related, even if you're absolutely comfortable talking about money, you're assertive, you're optimistic, you've got high levels of self-esteem, you've ticked all the boxes, you're still dealing with people who might have none of those traits. But high performers know exactly how to handle these situations effectively. And because of their adept skills in this department, both parties, the seller and the buyer, you're going to influence things so that everyone leaves happy, everyone leaves fulfilled. Negotiations end up being a real positive process. So there you have it, 15 traits of high performers taken straight from data gathered from 10,000 sales professionals. Some of these sales professionals are doing okay, plodding along. Some of these sales professionals, and there's a bunch of them in the Selling Made Simple Academy community, are doing multiple 6 figures, up to 7 figures a year in take-home revenue. These are true high-performing individuals. And if you'd like to see which of these sales success traits that you have, then click the link below this video and you can jump into the SalesCode assessment yourself. You can see it on the screen right now. You're going to get a breakdown of the sales skills that you have, the beliefs that you have, the actions that you have as well. These are all things that, again, as I said at the top of the video, you can learn each one of these. If any of these come back negative, you can learn it with the right training. You're also going to get a summary. If you click this here, we're going to take into account your personality type. We're going to give you an overview of that. We're going to give you some strengths. We're going to give you some weaknesses. We're going to give you some career advice as well. And all of this breaks down into much more training and content when you do the assessment. And the cool thing is, it's free. You click the link below this video, jump into the SalesCode assessment, learn your strengths, your weaknesses, and how you can improve your chances of sales success. It's completely free. It takes 10 minutes to complete, and it might just change not just your career, but your life as well. So click the link, jump into the assessment, and after you've done that, why not click the video that's on the screen right now and continue making selling simple.